Three children walked onto a crowded beach, hundreds of people around them. Witnesses saw them, spoke to them, watched them play, and then they were gone. No screams, no struggle, no trace. Their parents spent 57 years searching. Their father died in 2023, still not knowing what happened. Their mother died in 2019, still not knowing what happened. Three children, a crowded public beach, hundreds of witnesses, and not a single answer. And they are not alone. Every year, children vanish in broad daylight. From playgrounds, from beaches, from schoolyards, from backyards, with parents watching, with witnesses present, in the safest places imaginable. And for these 10 children, nobody has ever been able to explain what happened. These are their stories. January 26, 1966, Australia Day, Glenelg Beach, Adelaide, Australia. It was a public holiday. The most crowded day of the year at one of Australia's most popular beaches. Hundreds of families, thousands of people. Jane Beaumont was 9. Her sister Anna was 7. Her brother Grant was just 4 years old. Their mother Nancy put them on the bus to the beach that morning. A 5-minute journey. A beach they had visited dozens of times before. She gave them coins for the bus fare home and told them to be back by noon. It was completely normal. Completely safe. Noon came. The children did not come home. Nancy Beaumont waited. Then she went looking. They were not at the beach. They were not on the bus. They were not anywhere. What investigators pieced together from witnesses was deeply disturbing. The three children had been seen on the beach playing with a tall, thin blonde man in his late 30s. They appeared relaxed, happy even, which was strange, because Jane, Anna, and Grant were known to be extremely shy children who didn't speak to strangers. Multiple witnesses saw them together. Some witnesses saw the man and the children playing games in the sand. Others saw them in the water together. Every account described the children as happy and relaxed around this man. Then at approximately 12:15 p.m., the children were seen at a local bakery without the man. Jane, 9 years old, walked up to the counter and ordered food. Meat pies, pasties, buns, enough food for 3 children. And she paid for it with a £1 note. Their mother had given them only a few small coins that morning. Where did Jane get a £1 note, the equivalent of over $100 today? That question has never been answered. That bakery visit at 12:15 p.m. was the last confirmed sighting of Jane, Anna, and Grant Beaumont. A crowded public beach. Australia Day. Hundreds of witnesses. 3 children seen by multiple people throughout the morning. And then, nothing. One of the largest investigations in Australian history followed. Searches, suspects, excavations, decades of tips. No trace of the 3 children was ever found. Jim Beaumont spent every remaining year of his life searching for Jane, Anna, and Grant. He died in 2023, aged 96, without answers. Nancy Beaumont died in 2019. Neither of them ever found out what happened to Jane, Anna, or Grant. Jane would be in her late 60s today. Anna would be 65. Grant would be 62. None of them have ever been found. 3 children. A crowded beach. Thousands of people. Still gone after 57 years of searching. But this next case is different, because this time, the child vanished from a playground, with his mother sitting on a bench just a few feet away, watching. New York City, Manhattan, August 1989. August 10th, 1989. A neighborhood playground in Manhattan, New York City. Rosa Glover had taken the day off work. She brought her son Shane to the local park. Shane was 4 years old. It was a warm summer afternoon. A familiar neighborhood. A safe place. At the park, 2 older children, a boy and a girl, approached Shane and asked if they could push him on the swings. Rosa noticed they were several years older than Shane. She thought it was unusual, but there was nothing threatening about it. Just children at a park. She sat down on a nearby bench. She could see Shane on the swings from where she was sitting. He was right there in front of her. Then a man sat down beside her. He started talking to her. She looked away from Shane for a moment. When she looked back, the swing was empty. Shane was not there. Rosa ran to the swing immediately. She looked around the park frantically. She called his name. She saw the two older children running on the other side of the park fence. She ran to them. She grabbed them. She demanded to know where Shane was. They told her they had left him in the park. But Shane was not in the park. A retired NYPD investigator who later reviewed the case stated publicly that investigators believed the two older children had been used as deliberate decoys, that they had been sent to occupy Shane on the swings while someone else moved Rosa's attention away from her son. If that theory is correct, it means Shane's disappearance was planned. It means someone knew Rosa and Shane would be at that park. The man who sat beside Rosa on the bench was never located. No description was ever confirmed. The two older children were never conclusively linked to a suspect. No charges were ever filed against anyone. Shane Walker has never been found. Rosa Glover has never stopped looking for her son. He would be in his late 30s today. A mother watching from a bench. A deliberate distraction. Gone in seconds. But what makes Shane's disappearance even more disturbing is what happened at that exact same playground just weeks before. Because Shane was not the first child to vanish there that summer. Summer 1989. The same playground. Another child. Gone. Summer 1989. The same Manhattan playground where Shane Walker would later disappear. Christopher Dansby was just 2 years old. His mother Allison had brought him to the park on a summer afternoon. Like Rosa Glover would do weeks later, she was watching her child. He was playing. Everything was normal. She looked away briefly. When she turned back, Christopher was gone. In the immediate chaos of searching for her son, Allison spoke to other people at the park. And what she learned made everything worse. Christopher had been seen playing with two older children, a boy and a girl. The same two older children who would later be seen with Shane Walker. Two toddlers. Same playground. Same summer. Same older boy and girl present both times. Police investigated. The two older children were identified and their families were questioned at length. Multiple interviews were conducted. No charges were ever filed. No explanation was ever established. Allison Dansby later described life after Christopher's disappearance as waking up every single day inside a nightmare that had no end. Christopher Dansby has never been found. He would be in his late 30s today. Two children. Same playground. Same summer. Neither ever found. Nobody has ever explained it. Two children from the same playground in the same summer. Both gone. But this next case happened 4 years earlier, in a Bronx playground. And what the other children told investigators is the most chilling detail in this entire video, because the man who took this child knew his name. June 25th, 1985. A playground behind an apartment building in the South Bronx. Jeremiah Huger was 4 years old. He was playing in the playground with several other children from the building, while his mother watched from the apartment window directly above. She could see him. He was right there below her. She needed to go to the shops briefly with a relative. She could still see the playground from the street. She would only be gone a short time. When she returned to the apartment and looked out the window, Jeremiah was not in the playground. She went downstairs immediately. She searched the playground. She asked the other children who had been playing there where Jeremiah was. What they told her has never been explained. A man had come to the playground. He walked up to Jeremiah. He called Jeremiah by his name. Jeremiah, hearing a man say his name, walked toward him. The man took Jeremiah by the hand and walked away with him. The children watched it happen. None of them knew who the man was. None of them had ever seen him before. He knew Jeremiah's name. How did a stranger know a 4-year-old boy's name? That question has never been answered. Police searched the area immediately. The man was never identified. No description beyond basic physical details was ever confirmed. No suspect was ever arrested. Jeremiah Huger has never been found. He would be in his mid-40s today. A man who knew his name walked in, took him by the hand, walked out, and was never seen again. A man who knew his name walked in, took him by the hand, walked out, never identified. But this next case happened not in a city playground, but at a school, with teachers present, parents present, dozens of adults, on a morning that should have been one of the safest environments imaginable. Portland, Oregon, June 2010. June 4th, 2010. Skyline Elementary School, Portland, Oregon. The school had organized a science fair that morning. Parents had been invited in. The hallways and classrooms were full of adults, teachers, staff, and parents, all moving through the building. Kyron Horman was 7 years old. His stepmother Terry Moulton brought him to the science fair that morning. She walked with him through the school. She saw his science project on display. She took a photograph of him standing next to it, smiling in his green frog t-shirt. Then she walked him toward his classroom. She watched him walk down the hallway. She left the school at approximately 8:45 a.m. At 9 a.m., a student reported seeing Kyron near the south entrance of the school. That was the last confirmed sighting of Kyron Horman. When his teacher took attendance at the start of class, Kyron was not in his seat. She marked him absent. Nobody questioned it. Nobody called home. The school assumed he had simply left with a parent. It wasn't until that afternoon, when Kyron's parents expected him home from school, that anyone realized something was wrong. By the time police were called, Kyron had been missing for hours. A school full of teachers. A morning full of parents. A building with multiple adults in every corridor. And a 7-year-old boy had walked out of it, or been taken out of it, without a single person seeing anything. The investigation focused heavily on his stepmother Terry Moulton, the last adult confirmed to have seen Kyron. Her accounts of that morning changed in several details across multiple interviews. She failed a polygraph examination. No charges have ever been filed against anyone. Kyron Horman has never been found. His biological mother Desir Young has spent 15 years publicly searching for her son. She has never stopped. Kyron would be 22 years old today. If these cases are keeping you up, you're not alone. Make sure you subscribe. We cover cases like these every single week. And trust me, it only gets darker from here. A school, dozens of adults. A photograph taken that morning of a smiling boy. Gone by afternoon. But this next case happened far from any school or city. At a family picnic in Montana. And what happened after this child disappeared is one of the strangest sequences of events in any missing child case ever documented. Montana, June 1983. June 25th, 1983. Canyon Ferry Lake, Montana. The Marshall family had driven out to Canyon Ferry Lake for a picnic. It was a summer day. Family around. Open space. 4-year-old Nyleen was playing near the campsite with other children while her family sat nearby. At some point during that afternoon, Nyleen was not there anymore. Nobody saw her leave. Nobody saw anyone approach her. One moment she was playing near the campsite. The next moment she was simply not there. An immediate search of the surrounding area found nothing. Nyleen Marshall was gone. Then the letters started. An anonymous man began sending letters to the family and to police, claiming to have Nyleen. In these letters, he described moving with her from location to location across the country. He included details about the places they had supposedly been. Details that, investigators noted, matched unverified sightings of a young girl that had been called into police from those same locations. Then the phone calls began. Image, map of United States, multiple pins marking reported SIG. The man called police directly. He described Nyleen. He spoke about her. The FBI traced the calls to public phone booths in Wisconsin. The moment investigators got close to identifying the phone booth location, the calls stopped. Permanently. In 1990, Nyleen's case was featured on the television program Unsolved Mysteries. After the episode aired, a viewer called in to report that one of their students resembled Nyleen. Police investigated, and while they did not find Nyleen, they found a different missing child. In 1991, a man came forward and confessed to killing Nyleen Marshall. No body was ever produced. No physical evidence supported the confession. Investigators could not verify it. The case remains officially open. Nyleen Marshall has never been found. Her case remains officially open. She would be in her mid-40s today. A picnic. A family right there. Letters. Phone calls. A confession that led nowhere. And no answers. A family picnic. Letters from a stranger. A confession with no evidence. No answers. But this next case happened 8 years later, in Canada. And what makes it different from every case you have heard so far is the scale of what followed. Because this became one of the largest missing child investigations in Canadian history. And still, nothing. Victoria, British Columbia. March 1991. March 24th, 1991. Blanchard Elementary School. Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Crystal Dunahee had brought her 4-year-old son Michael to the school that Sunday morning. She was participating in a community flag football practice on the school field. Her husband Bruce was there watching. Other families were present. Michael asked if he could go to the playground at the edge of the school grounds. It was visible from where his parents were standing. Crystal told him yes, and to wait there for his father, who would come check on him shortly. Michael ran to the playground. Minutes later, Bruce walked over to the playground to check on his son. Michael was not there. Bruce searched the playground immediately. He called Michael's name. He went back to Crystal. Michael was gone. Around 50 people immediately began searching. Police were called and responded within minutes. The Victoria Police Department made an immediate decision. This was an abduction. A 4-year-old child had vanished from a public space surrounded by dozens of people in a matter of minutes. There was no other explanation that fit the facts. Every detective from the Victoria Police Department was assigned to the case. The investigation expanded rapidly. The school and surrounding neighborhood were searched exhaustively. A brown van had been reported near the playground around the time Michael disappeared. It was never conclusively identified. Over 11,000 tips have been received in the 34 years since Michael disappeared. A 100,000 Canadian dollars reward was offered. Every single lead was investigated. Michael Dunahee has never been found. In 2025, 34 years after his disappearance, Victoria Police released a fresh public appeal for information. Their statement included one line that has stayed with investigators for decades. All it could take is just one person to bring Michael home. Nobody has come forward. Michael Dunahee has never been found. He would be in his late 30s today. Meters from his parents. 11,000 tips. Still no answers. But this next case is the one that has stayed with people longer than almost any other. Because this child was wearing a Spider-Man suit. And the last sound anyone heard was him roaring like a tiger. Kendall, New South Wales. September 2014. September 12th, 2014. A residential property in Kendall, New South Wales, Australia. William Tyrrell was 3 years old. He had come with his foster family to spend the day visiting his foster grandmother at her home in the small coastal town of Kendall. That morning, William and his sister played together in the front and backyards of the property. His foster mother and his foster grandmother were both present, both watching. William was wearing his favorite outfit, a Spider-Man suit. At some point during the morning, William's foster mother went inside the house briefly to make tea. From inside, she heard William. He was running, playing. She could hear him roaring like a tiger, the way he always did when he was playing his favorite game, as he ran around the side of the house. She smiled. She finished making the tea. She went back outside. William was not there. She searched the yard. She called his name. She searched the front of the property. She called his name again. Silence. Police were called. A search of the surrounding bushland was launched immediately. A 3-year-old boy in a bright red Spider-Man suit, in an area of dense bushland, found nothing. The case became one of the most prominent and extensively investigated missing child cases in Australian history. It consumed national attention for years. Multiple suspects were identified and investigated. The property was forensically examined multiple times. In 2022, 8 years after William vanished, a man was charged with his murder. The trial began in 2023. The trial collapsed. The man was acquitted. William Tyrrell has never been found. He would be 13 years old today. The last sound his foster mother heard was a little boy in a Spider-Man suit roaring like a tiger as he ran around the side of a house. Then silence. Roaring like a tiger. Then silence. A bright red Spider-Man suit. Never found. But this next case goes back further, to 1979. And it changed America forever. Because this was the case that ended the era of children walking to school alone. Manhattan, May 1979. May 25th, 1979. Prince Street, Soho neighborhood, Manhattan, New York. Etan Patz was 6 years old. That morning was special. It was the first morning his parents had ever agreed to let Etan walk to the school bus stop by himself. He had been asking for weeks. He wanted to do it alone, like the older kids, like a big boy. The bus stop was 2 blocks from their apartment on Prince Street. His mother Julie stood at the door of their building and watched him walk away down the street. He was wearing a light blue corduroy jacket. He was carrying a small elephant-shaped bag. She watched him until he turned the corner. He never arrived at the bus stop. When Etan didn't come home from school that afternoon, Julie called the police. Officers searched the 2-block route between the apartment and the bus stop. Nothing. No jacket. No elephant bag. No Etan. What followed became a turning point in how America thought about missing children. Etan's face became one of the first missing children to appear on milk cartons distributed across the United States. His photograph was everywhere. His case was covered by every major news organization in the country. May 25th, the day Etan disappeared, was later designated National Missing Children's Day in the United States. The case went unsolved for 33 years. In 2012, a man named Pedro Hernandez walked into a New Jersey police station and confessed to killing Etan Patz in 1979. He described luring Etan into a convenience store basement near the bus stop with the promise of a soda. He was convicted of murder in 2017. But Etan Patz's body has never been found. His parents Stan and Julie never had the closure of knowing where their son is. 2 blocks from home. A sunny morning. His first independent walk. He never made it. 2 blocks from home. Never found. A case that changed an entire country. Now, the final case. And I want you to pay close attention to this one. Because this is not just one child. This is a pattern. January 10th, 2009. Immokalee, Florida. Marie Nader left for work that Saturday morning. She left her 6-year-old son Adji at his grandmother's house. It was a familiar place. Family. A safe and known environment. At some point during that morning, Adji went outside to play in the yard. He never came back inside. His grandmother realized he was missing and began searching. Neighbors helped. Police were called. An extensive search of the surrounding area found nothing. Adji Desir has never been found. No trace. No witness accounts. No evidence of what happened in that yard on that January morning. But here is what I need you to understand about Adji's case. Look at what every case in this video has in common. The Beaumont children, a crowded beach. Hundreds of witnesses. Gone. Shane Walker, a mother watching from a bench. Gone in seconds. Christopher Dansby, same playground. Same summer. Gone. Jeremiah Huger, a mother watching from a window above. A man who knew his name. Gone. Kyron Horman, a school full of adults. Gone before class started. Nyleen Marshall, a family picnic. Gone. Letters. Phone calls. A confession. Still no answers. Michael Dunahee, meters from his parents. 50 people searching immediately. Gone. William Tyrrell, a Spider-Man suit. Roaring like a tiger. Then silence. Gone. Etan Patz, 2 blocks from home. A sunny morning. Never made it. Adji Desir, his grandmother's yard. Gone. 10 children. 10 different locations. 10 different decades. 10 different countries and states. And the same impossible outcome every single time. A child. A safe place. Adults nearby. Broad daylight. Gone. No screams. No struggle. No evidence. No answers. Just a child who was there. And then wasn't. 10 children. 10 disappearances. 10 families who have spent years, some of them decades, waiting for answers that have never come. From a crowded Australian beach on a public holiday to a grandmother's yard in Florida. From a Manhattan playground in summer to a school hallway in Oregon. From a Montana picnic to a backyard in New South Wales. All of them vanished in moments that should have been completely safe. All of them in broad daylight. All of them with people nearby. None of them have ever been fully explained. And somewhere out there, for at least some of these children, someone knows what happened. They have never said a word. Which of these 10 cases disturbed you the most? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. And if this video kept you up tonight, the next one is already waiting for you. Don't say I didn't warn you.